Hey and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Arsenal actually yet to receive bid for exceptional player who's agreed personal terms elsewhere. Arsenal are actually yet to receive a bid for Granit Xhaka in the summer transfer window, despite claims that the midfielder has agreed terms with a new club. That's according to a report from BBC Sport, which follows plenty of speculation surrounding the Swiss future over the last few weeks. It certainly appears that there is a good chance that Granit Xhaka has already made his final appearance for Arsenal. He seemed to bid an emotional goodbye to supporters after the final game of this past season. Reports from Kicker have suggested that Xhaka has agreed personal terms with Bayer Leverkusen. However, that report noted that Arsenal want to have his replacement lined up before giving him the green light to leave. But it would appear that signing a replacement is not the only hurdle Arsenal need to clear before they allow the 30-year-old to leave the club. BBC Sport reports that the Gunners are actually yet to receive a bid for Xhaka amid doubts over his future. That's a surprise given how close he seems to be to ending up back in the Bundesliga. Perhaps Leverkusen are waiting for Arsenal to finalize a deal for his replacement before they confirm their interest with an offer. Arsenal fans would be happy to see Xhaka stay. He has completely changed perceptions over the last couple of years, and he would still have a role to play as the club prepare for their Champions League return. He has been exceptional for Arteta, and replacing him is going to be a tricky task. Perhaps his exit is still on the cards, but it would appear that it may not be as close as the previous report have hinted. Martin Ødegaard gives Arsenal contract update. Speaking to the media this week, Martin Ødegaard has revealed that he hasn't held new contract talks with Arsenal yet, but he is more than happy where he is. He said, I am very happy at Arsenal and I hope to stay here for a long time. Let's see the contract situation after the summer. I didn't speak to Arsenal. It's not on me, honestly. No rush. My contract is still long. Fabrizio Romano recently reported that Odegaard is the next player on Arsenal's list for a new deal, with negotiations to take place soon. Mikel Arteta's current captain, Odegaard, has a contract with Arsenal until 2025, and the club have an option to extend to 2026. Arsenal have been pushing to tie their first choice side down to new contract, with William Saliba reportedly the latest to agree to commit. That concluded a year-long effort to tie down Saliba, Bukayo Saka and Martinelli, and the Gunners also agreed deals with Magalhaes and Ramsdale during that same period. Reece Nelson is also close to a deal. Mohamed Elneny was another player to extend his contract, though in his case, the extension was about giving him an extra year on reduced terms while he works on his injury comeback. Odegaard made 37 Premier League appearances in Arsenal's 38 games in 22-23, starting all 37. Only Ramsdale, Gabriel and Saka played more of the league campaign. The midfielder scored 15 goals and provided 7 assists in the league, making this his best ever league goal contributions tally for a season. PSG hold talks with Arteta as his stance becomes clear. RMC Sport report that Luis Campos was keen to bring Mikel Arteta to Paris Saint-Germain as their new manager, and he spoke to the Arsenal boss in recent weeks, but RMC Sport claim that the chance of such a move are next to none. For a start, Arteta is reportedly happy with the Arsenal project and he has a contract until 2025. There is no suggestions he is interested in a move. Then there is the fact that Campos isn't the final decision maker this time around after making the call to bring in Christophe Galtier last season. It looks like this story is going nowhere, but it's a nice boost for Arteta to hear that he is drawing interest from some of Europe's top clubs. This is far from the first link between Arsenal and PSG in the last few weeks, and it's the latest of many that appear destined for failure. They have been linked with Odegaard, Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, and now Arteta. It's somewhat embarrassing for PSG that they have seemingly pursued four different signings from Arsenal in a few weeks, including poaching their manager and being knocked back on every occasion. From an Arsenal point of view, it's great to see some loyalty to the club, even when players are so in demand. Arsenal have discussed the 21-year-old player's future at the club. He could leave. Arsenal have held talks with Folarin Balogun and his representatives amid claims he could leave the club this summer. Journalist Darmish Sheth provided an update via Give Me Sport about the 21-year-old's future. It's been hard to ignore Folarin Balogun's form over the past 12 months. He was given the opportunity to play top-flight football in League One with Stade Reims last season. Balogun was fantastic, scoring 21 league goals and missing just one match all season. Unsurprisingly, his form has attracted attention from elsewhere, given there are no guarantees he will play on his return to Arsenal. The likes of Crystal Palace and Inter Milan have been linked with signing the American international. As the summer transfer window gets going, Arsenal have now held talks with Balogun and his representative. Gabriel Jesus had a brilliant first season at the Emirates, while Edin Nketiah was a useful deputy. Balogun may back himself to jump ahead of Nketiah in the pecking order next season. However, it's difficult to go from starting every week to settling for a place on the bench. Arsenal may also see an opportunity to cash in on a player who isn't guaranteed minutes while his stock is so high. Talking about the young forward, Sheth said, Folarin Balogun is an interesting one. I am told that there have been talks between Balogun's representatives and the Arsenal hierarchy about his future. Balogun has got to that stage of his career where he's been on loan for a season at Rams and he has played really well, getting 21 goals in the league last season. He wants regular first-team football now. He's got the taste for it. Arsenal have some very ambitious plans in the transfer window this summer. The likes of Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, and others won't be cheap if they all sign for the club. Selling Balogun won't cover the cost of any of those transfers, but would make a decent contribution. It will be interesting to see what Balogun and his representatives said to Arsenal in talks about his future. If he thinks he can play his way into the team, or is happy to be patient, then staying at the Emirates isn't the worst option. Arsenal could sign 31 cap fullback with dynamism and intensity for £13 million. Arsenal have been linked to defender Timothy Castagne, and Fabrizio Romano has stated the price tag Leicester have placed on him this summer. Arsenal are looking to strengthen their squad this summer and add more depth so that they can compete with Manchester City. Reports have linked the club to the Leicester City defender, but no bid has been made. Now, if Arsenal want to make a move, it looks like they know what sort of offer they will have to make. The Gunners had a great season, but it will mean nothing if they do not continue to progress. To do this, they need to bolster their squad. Arsenal do already have a good right back in Ben White, but with multiple competition next campaign, including the Champions League, they need squad depth. Romano reported what price the Gunners will have to pay. He tweeted, Leicester City want €15 million fee to sell Timothy Castagne this summer. No bid from Arsenal at this stage, despite reports. Juventus have opened talks to sign Castagne. Juventus were also linked with Lucas Vazquez, but Real Madrid count on him. This is big news, and a fee of around £13 million would no doubt be one that Arsenal would find easy to pay this summer. The 31-cap Belgium international, who has won the FA Cup with Leicester back in 2021, would be a very useful asset for the Gunners. He can attack and defend and boast dynamism and intensity. No doubt Mikel Arteta would get the best out of him if he joins Arsenal. Arsenal now think incredible £45 million player would actually be a better signing than Moses Caicedo. Arsenal view Romeo Lavia as a better option this summer than Moses Caicedo, as the Gunners consider making a bid for the Southampton star. That's according to a report from The Sun, which notes that the Belgian could cost around £45 million in this window. Romeo Lavia has come onto the Arsenal radar after a breakout campaign with the Saints. The club were relegated from the Premier League this past season, but Lavia was one of the shining lights. Reports from the Daily Mail in this weekend suggest that Arsenal are weighing up making a move for Lavia, and the Sun is now claiming that Arsenal see Lavia as a better target than Moses Caicedo. That is obviously saying something when you consider the length Arsenal have been prepared to go to sign the Brighton star. They reportedly offered £70 million in the January transfer window, and Football Transfer suggested that they had agreed personal terms with the Ecuadorian. Caicedo's stock has continued to rise since January, and perhaps Arsenal feel that his valuation has moved out of the range for which they would be prepared to pay. Lavia, meanwhile, would still cost a fair amount. However, his valuation is still some way short of what Caicedo will set a team back. He is a couple of years younger and he does have some experience in the Premier League. If Caicedo was the name at the top of the wish list, you could understand if fans were unhappy with Arsenal's stance. However, Lavia is an incredible talent, and his arrival would leave Edu with a lot more breathing space for the rest of the window. Fabrizio Romano says Saudi clubs are trying crazy things to sign Arsenal target. Arsenal have been heavily linked with a move to sign Manchester City star Ilkay Gündogan this summer, and Fabrizio Romano has shared the latest on the situation. It's no secret at this point that Mikel Arteta's priority is new additions in central midfield. Declan Rice is clearly the top target, while Kai Havertz and Romeo Lavia have also been linked with a move to the Emirates. Gündogan is the other name who is reportedly a big target for Arsenal, but the Gunners face stiff competition from clubs in Saudi Arabia, Romano claimed on Give Me Sport. Ilkay Gündogan is one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. The German has been absolutely outstanding for Manchester City over the years. He was sensational last season as well, playing a huge part in helping Pep Guardiola's side win the treble. Gundogan's contract will expire at the end of this month, and Manchester City, to everyone's surprise, named him as one of their players who will be released. That is good news for Arsenal, who have apparently offered him a contract to join them on a free transfer. However, wealthy clubs in Saudi Arabia could blow them out of the water with crazy offers, Romano said. Arsenal are interested in Gundogan, for sure. They had some conversations, but Gundogan's situation is complicated. Manchester City offered a new deal for one more season with an option for a further year. Barcelona have offered a 3-year deal to Gundogan, and Saudi clubs are trying crazy things to convince the player. So it's a very open race and not easy at all. Ilkay Gündogan would be an amazing signing for most clubs in the world. The phenomenal German is an outstanding player. He can play anywhere in midfield, is a real leader, can score and create goals, and has a winner's mentality, having won so many trophies over the years. It's no surprise Arsenal are looking to sign him this summer, but he is 32 already, and his next contract will probably be the last big one of his professional career. If Saudi clubs make him a financial offer that he simply can't refuse, you can't blame Gundogan for accepting that this summer. Arsenal will launch a new bid for one of the best players in Europe. Arsenal appear to be making decent progress in their pursuit of Kai Havertz. Earlier this week, speculation quickly started doing the rounds over the Gunners and the Germany international. Although Arsenal reportedly saw an opening bid rejected, Fabrizio Romano says a second one is coming for sure. The transfer insider also said that all parties want to find a solution together with regards to a sale to Arsenal. Arsenal apparently want to wrap up a deal quickly because Bayern München appear to be lurking in the shadows. However, Romano says the Bavarians are just keeping tabs on Havertz for now and haven't entered negotiations. Havertz would be a great signing for the Gunners as he is talented, young, and proven at the highest level. At Bayer Leverkusen, he went from an exciting young prospect to one of the best players in Europe. You get the feeling that Mikel Arteta will know how to bring the best out of Havertz, something his club haven't quite managed. We'll see what happens in the coming days. Hopefully, it won't be long before we get two very nice official announcements regarding Arsenal signings. All in all, it looks like the Gunners are intent on building on their solid foundations and put together a team that wins title instead of it just challenging for them. Arsenal came so close last season only to fall at the final hurdle. Strength in depth is an issue, and the Gunners are going about their business well to rectify that. I will be uploading daily Arsenal news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.